All good.
Yeah. Better late than never, though, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Especially since it's Friday and it's always that gap, over the weekend. Gotta get those clips out there. Stay productive. And it's also the show became a thing where it's like I realize a lot of people watch it and then they figure out what, this series of stories, this variety of internet-based content, what's going on in the world, what's capturing the hearts and minds. There's that piece. But that piece also applies to us here. It applies to me. Like when I sit down and do this show, then I can sort of compact all those things that are going on. I can kind of, learn myself. You know what I mean? Like be exposed and feel, I don't even know if informed is the right word, but just like in tune, sort of, to a certain extent. Like that frequency of what's going on in the world. Because it can be really, it can start to feel isolating to not be knowing about what other people are dealing with, whatever it happens to be. I know we started out, it was like, since coming from Unbox Therapy, okay, here's the focus. The focus is going to be about technology products and things like that. And then it was like, wait a second. What are the things we talk about? It's more diverse than that. Life, it's more comprehensive than that. There's more to it, especially as you age. I got kids and then my activities change. And, I think interests should change. And it's not to say that you're not still going to be interested in the things you've been interested in, but it's to say that other things enter the realm as well. And ever since I started doing this show and like looking more deeply into a variety of categories, I realized some of the breadth of those interests, and I assume that other people might be going through the same thing.
I also think that having conversation between even us and the audience is quite illuminating.
You stole that from somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat a while ago said, I find this show to be very illuminating. But then they got rid of the I and they said illuminating, L-E-W, yes. Because Lou later.
Yeah.
And then they went on to call the group of individuals watching the show and in the chat and in the comments to be the Luminators.
Yes.
It's very uncomfortable terminology.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, magic always happening within the community and always happening in the world as far as happenings are concerned. So we got a wide variety today. You know what's special about today is it's an entire Willie Do episode in the sense that I contributed none of these story selections today.
Yeah.
I had a very late night last night and an incredibly busy day so far today. And Will was like, I got this. Will was like, I got you. And I was like, really? I was like, you don't even want me to contribute one story? He's like, no. I got all of it. I got a whole show.
Yeah. I was just like, when you're trying to touch the mouse, like, get out of here.
And I gotta be honest, man. Willie Do has really grown into this role. I know everybody else has noticed. I don't need to say it. But as far as being the newsman, like with the nameplate on the table, and just the general thing. It used to be a time we were over when this set used to be over there, and Will was like, don't talk to me. Will was like, don't ask me a question. Will was like, don't switch, don't imply that the camera should switch to me. And
Right.
all of a sudden now Willie's ordering Broncos for half an hour in front of thousands of people.
Yeah. I'm not wearing a diaper anymore.
So we just got to shout out that progress right there. I think the people, the people are impressed with that, whatever's going on there. I don't know, maybe your regimen changed. What would you attribute that to, Will?
I think it's important to just have dialogue, conversation, how you and I would chat. And obviously just kind of getting over the nervousness of being live or being on camera.
Right.
That was a big thing,
You were nervous before?
Yeah.
And you're nervous no more.
Nah, I don't know about that, but
It's lovely, man. You love to see it. Anyway.
Little steps.
Well, no, and absolutely. That's the truth, what you just said.
Yeah.
Progress over time. If you, a sledgehammer doesn't work for everything. You can't really force it sometimes. Sometimes it's going to just take time, and you got to be comfortable with the fact it's going to take time when it comes to progress in life in general. And
being okay with the challenge.
Hell yeah. Challenge, fantastic. People be surprised at their capabilities with a willingness to face challenge. Speaking of challenges, Russia is considering nationalizing Apple and others that left the country. Nationalizing.
You know how we had that conversation about McDonald's?
Yeah, about sort of eliminating some of the patent or some of the trademark rules so that Russia itself could run these brands that people know and love. How would they do that with Apple? McDonald's is one. McDonald's is one thing, right? If you want to, I don't know, have your local suppliers try to mimic what McDonald's does. Listen. I'm not saying that that's easy, but I'm saying easier than Apple. So let's say you need them to comply to a certain extent because they got to send you the goods. The Russian government is moving forward with a plan to nationalize assets. Nationalize assets left behind by Western firms. So this is a little different than what we were talking about with McDonald's. On Thursday, Russian President Vladimir Putin endorsed the plan, which would allow the government to request court orders to impose external management on factories, shops, and other facilities left behind by companies that have fled Russia. In a statement issued in March, Putin's party, United Russia, said the move would prevent bankruptcy and preserve jobs. External management would last for up to 3 months. After that, the government would put the businesses up for auction. So some of these foreign companies that Russia is considering for nationalization include Apple, IKEA, Microsoft, IBM, Toyota, McDonald's, and H&M. What's confusing about this, or complicated about this, is those companies are still supporting their employees in Russia as they would anywhere else in the world. McDonald's, for example, has stated in the past that they're going to continue paying employees in Russia, even with the stores shut down. So by Russia nationalizing these things, even if they went in and assumed those assets or attempted to run those businesses to keep those people employed long term, at some point there would have to be a handover. At some point, they would have to, the companies themselves would have to relinquish complete control. And then Russia, I guess, would be paying. Or they would be, as it says, eventually auctioning these businesses to whoever would want to run it. But you would still end up with these bizarro companies that would have no affiliation with the actual company beyond the logo and the physical space and possibly the supply chain. So like Apple doesn't manufacture anything, as far as I know, in Russia. So if they were to take Apple's assets beyond attempting to auction them off, you couldn't get parts. You couldn't, the assembly's not, you can't really continue to run these companies. McDonald's maybe, H&M maybe, IKEA might actually have some amount of its manufacturing in Russia. I know they have manufacturing in many parts of Eastern Europe, so that's possible. But there certainly are assets there, remaining assets that they could come in and I guess do as they please with. But I'm not sure that this is going to really satisfy the customers of those companies in those regions. It's definitely going to be a different thing. Might have the same logo, but it's probably going to be a different thing.
Sure.
Russia may legalize software piracy as tech and game companies continue to pull out. Well, there's another one, man. Just trying to do anything they can to limit the damage here and the public opinion and public perception of the consequences of this war. Get rid of trademark protection for foreign companies doing business in the country that people obviously like and frequent, and let them pirate the games they actually want instead of losing them completely, which increasingly we've been talking about on the show, the likes of FIFA and NHL, Activision, Blizzard, I believe, they're out. I mean, it's a huge and increasing number of software companies, game developers that are exiting that region. And it's been kind of a two-tiered approach. You have some that are saying no new purchases of these titles. Some are going a step further, saying no in-game purchases for games you already have. Like they're kind of nerfing the experience of the game.
And some said no services.
Right.
Like the live service.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, again, diminishing the value of these types of services. Russia's Ministry of Economic Development has introduced a potential new law called the Priority Action Plan for ensuring the development of the Russian economy in the conditions of external sanctions pressure, as reported by Torrent Freak. You ever been on that website, Will? A passage found in 6.7.3 seems to have big implications for software piracy. Here's the translation. Cancellation of liability for the use of software unlicensed in the Russian Federation owned by a copyright holder from countries that have supported the sanctions. So basically, content, property, software that originates in regions responsible for recent sanctions. It's all right to steal that stuff.
Yeah. They reopened Napster.
Yeah, no.
They opened the doors.
Yeah, it's all the Metallica you want.
Yeah.
Unlimited Metallica downloads. So, like, here's some of the list of things that are tough to get now on that side of things. Tech software companies like Sony, PlayStation, Twitch, Netflix, EA Games, The Witcher devs, CDPR. They're still calling them Witcher devs instead of Cyberpunk devs.
Yeah, it's like it didn't exist.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Effectively boycotting the country over the war. The Witcher dev, CDPR is in Poland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that one makes sense. Yeah, I bet it's already going on, honestly. And
the pirating?
And with or without this recent law or this recent development, with or without, you have to assume that people would have been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You have to assume that people would have immediately gone the piracy route if their favorite game. But I don't know how this will affect services, because if you get the game is one thing, but certain functions within the game are going to require probably that you have an account, and you're going to have
connecting to their servers.
You're going to have VPNs to be spoofing your location, and accounts maybe with credit cards associated with other addresses. And it's going to be a huge hassle still. It's not like you push the piracy button and all of a sudden it's the exact same experience you were having with these games before the sanctions and bans took place.
Yes.
The White House is now briefing TikTok stars about the war in Ukraine. With millions getting their information about the war from the platform, the administration wants to get its message to top content creators. Wow. It's an interesting approach. I understand the approach. How do you reach people now? How do you reach young people now? And
also to eliminate misinformation and disinformation.
Well, sure. As long as the White House says this is the information.
Sure, yeah.
Like, this is what's so wild about the information wars. Keys? Which keys do you need? Really? Where are you going?
No, I got somebody coming in.
Oh, okay, cool. Here you go. Mo's doing a quick audible. Maybe he'll join us later. Mo, can you give us the word?
Yeah.
Mo's going to join us later. Don't you worry. I know that people saw the empty chair and they got very concerned, but look at him. He's doing things. He's working. I just want to
shout out Mo.
Sort of paint the atmosphere here for people that are not around here. He's running around. He's all the way down there. Then he's back here, and then he's over in that corner.
He's as active as COVID.
He'll say, remember the other day he went out this door and he said, "I'll see you at the table." But he went that way.
He bolts.
Yeah. You're just like, wow. And we see him on the security cameras. Like,
full speed.
You never know what Mo's up to. But anyway, so yes, everybody gets to decide what is the truth. In the future, everyone gets to determine their own truth, and they get to call that information, and then they get to call everything else misinformation.
Yes.
And so the difficult part here is determining, it's who watches the Watchmen, who decides what is the real stuff and the fake stuff, and what does their incentive structure look like, and what side of the spectrum are they on. In Russia, they're calling what they're putting out information. In Ukraine, they're calling what they put out information. You know the gap between those two platforms?
Yeah, it's like black and white.
You know the truth gap between those two platforms? Whoo, that's a delta. That's the terminology for that. That is a big gap. I need to draw it out for people because, well, it's one of the reasons we want to do this show as well. And we have our own version of it. As we read through the web.
The Canadian version.
You know what? So be it. As we read through the internet and we attempt to discern or discover the connections between this variety of inputs, and then in hopes that that combination of things might actually grant you some insight into some truth.
Yes.
Good luck. Good luck. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And people are constantly looking at our sources and saying, well, why are you using that source? Or why are you using that source? And then they say, they're looking at this story right now. We're only seeing the Washington Post. They're saying, well, that's Jeff Bezos. Or God forbid you bring up
Babylon B.
Never mind Babylon B, but I'm saying even if you bring up CNN or Fox News, and then people, they think that they can discern something about us just from the existence of a particular set of words on a page.
Sure.
But what we're really doing is selecting for pages and information that has action. In other words, other people, tremendous number of other people are interacting with. That's a key. It's not like we're saying, hey, I wake up in the morning and I read only Fox. No, it's everything, because this is what humans are interacting with. And this is how humans are determining their own truth, their perception of truth. And so by you watching this show and seeing this variety, as much as it might bother you to see some source that you frequently disagree with, it's useful to you to know what those people are talking about and how they're perceiving the world, because ultimately you will have to work together at some point to coexist. By shutting it down and shutting it off, regardless of your perspectives, there's an information gap that you're granting. You're saying, I'm fine with this information gap.
Yes.
But you get further apart in that reality. It's also the argument around the banning of people, which doesn't happen too frequently. And then the fact that people in groups get siloed off and the enemies grow. And the conflict grows as the groups get siloed off and become more radical as the dialogue and interface shrinks. So anyway, this is the Washington Post, but you will see, I promise you this, you will always see a wide variety of sources on this show from all ends of the spectrum. And then it will be up to you and up to us as we discuss to determine which tidbit or which piece is relevant or important, or maybe none of it. But the point is, it will always be a breadth and it will always be a snapshot into what humans on Earth are interacting with on a given day.
And we make mistakes too.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. No, of course. Yes, absolutely.
Just to tie everything together with this TikTok thing in White House, they are choosing a specific amount of influencers. The ones that maybe have a significant following, like this person is Khalil Green, who's a creator on TikTok, has 500,000 followers. And the White House gives them like a little briefing on facts. So even though there's so much information on TikTok about Ukraine and Russia, this allows them to maybe be more of a broadcast for the Gen Z people. Because I guess teenagers aren't really watching CNN or Fox News all the time, right?
Absolutely not.
TikTok seems to be a
teenagers.
good funnel.
I mean, look at us. You don't watch CNN or Fox News.
Yeah.
I don't. So the invitations to the event were distributed Tuesday and Wednesday. Khalil Green said he wasn't surprised when an invitation arrived in his email inbox. People in my generation get all our information from TikTok. He said it's the first place we're searching up new topics and learning about things. So he figured It made sense that the Biden administration would engage people like him on the platform. What did they say in the briefing? We recognize this is a critically important avenue for the way the American public is finding out about the latest. I'm just curious what they're saying in their actual posts that have been prompted. Okay.
So here's one of them.
All right, go ahead and play one.
Hey folks, so I just had the pleasure of joining a White House briefing with a senior official from the National Security Council. And I want to talk to you about what America is doing to help Ukraine. Because it's important to spread accurate information here. And let me just quickly say, as someone who has family in Ukraine, I am very grateful for what America has done thus far. So first off, the United States has provided a significant amount of militaristic as well as humanitarian aid to Ukraine. Hundreds of billions of dollars have already gone to Ukraine, and there will be more. Next, we are seeing the United States sanctions on Russia work. Russia's economy is in free fall, the ruble is at its lowest point in a very long time, and the country is on the brink of default. And finally, the United States is publishing a significant amount of previously classified information that was since declassified in order to debunk Russian misinformation and keep the public and Ukraine aware of what's happening. Remember, the United States didn't cause this war. Russia did.
Wow. I mean, it almost seems like a script, maybe?
Yes.
Very tight.
And there's other examples here.
Okay, give us one more.
Another one.
Here are the 3 most important bits of the White House briefing that me and a bunch of other creators just attended. First, if Russia uses chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons in Ukraine, the United States will take escalatory steps. We don't know exactly what that means, but it won't be good for Russia.
His eyes.
Second, Russian troops are not happy
High
with
intensity.
their own invasion, and it's really impacting Russia's ability to make progress in this war. Third, Russia is not going to win in Ukraine. Things have gone so badly for them that it's just not possible anymore.
Jeez, like what? Holy.
Yeah, this guy's heavy.
Third, Russia is not going to win in Ukraine. There are many things that have happened that have made that impossible. It's like, really? That's so concrete, isn't it, Will?
It is very, really straightforward.
It's interesting. It's
Very
interesting
strict in his communication.
Yes, it's interesting. The angle here. Now, I can't. I mean, it's very hard to. It's complicated. Like there's a big incentive set here to try to get this message out in a format, a direct format like this, to gather support, to from a political bonus points for here you have a cause that has captured the attention of a variety of generations, and you have an opportunity here to speak to those generations as an administration. How do you choose
in their platform too?
Their
language.
How do you choose what their message will be or what their script will be? How do you say in your briefing things like Russia has lost? I mean, I'm not saying that I don't have as much. You would hope the administration has more insight than I do, but I consider conflict and war to be a chaotic and unpredictable event. Now, and I assume there's others that would consider it the same. Maybe they have some. Maybe the administration has some insight that I don't. Well, that this thing is already over. Yeah. They have intelligence. I don't. What can I say about it? But it did seem, my main comment, my main takeaway with those clips is it seemed extremely concrete and direct.
Yeah. There's no budging.
So,
or even their opinions.
So it's not your typical influencer scenario, right? We work with, we don't work with the White House, but we work with brands, and you know how we're always pushing to say, no, we want to do it in our way. We want to do it. We want to speak about it in the real way we would speak about it. Mm-hmm. Like, please get your script out of my face type of thing. Mm-hmm. So I try to think, if I get a call from the White House, I don't think they're calling me, first of all.
Yeah.
But I try to think how I would feel about that if they gave me these points or a script. I'm not saying these people had a script, but I'm saying the way they delivered the message, even if they were just reflecting on the presentation they sat in front of and maybe they just took notes or whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't really question or interpret the information they got. They just released it. They got it and released it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like a one-pager.
Get it, release it.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like an Apple launch. That was a joke. That was an embargo joke. That was
okay.
Anyway. Never mind. Will
went past me.
That was an embargo joke.
I see.
About how they're like, you can do this, and this right now. No full reviews to it, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. You can't pick and choose.
There's restrictions on what you can and can't say. Facebook allows. Oh, this one is also wild. Speaking of information warfare,
who sent this? Was it Vin?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think Vin.
This is wild. This is on Reuters. This is Facebook allowing war posts urging violence against Russian invaders. So typically these social media would have very strict rules around the inciting of violence or the encouragement of violence, any violence. It would just be rules. And then you get into these scenarios like an active war or an active invasion, conflict. And all of a sudden that's those people's reality. Whoever is there, they are now exposed to violence. And here they have this social media where presumably they still communicate about what their lives are like, about invasions and about violence and about attacks and so forth. And then Facebook has to come in and kind of decide how that fits into their typical terms and how those terms would shift or skew or change to meet this new criteria of this new reality. Meta platforms will allow Facebook and Instagram users in some countries to call for violence against Russians and Russian soldiers in the context of the Ukraine invasion, according to internal emails seen by Reuters on Thursday, in a temporary change to its hate speech policy. So there's a policy that exists about it. These words or this incitement, and we've heard about it with other platforms. And there's similar policies when it comes to things like doxing. Special times call for special measures, I suppose. And all of a sudden it's like, well, time for a reconfiguration.
This is deeply disconcerting. Allowing some countries to call for violence to Russian soldiers.
Not countries, individuals.
Individuals. What if this, like when this thing is over, this invasion, based on what people are saying within Meta, will other people interpret Russians a different way? I'm just talking about Russian citizens, even.
Oh, for sure. Man, it's
in a negative light.
The impact of this thing. You have the war in the immediate sense. You have the conflict in the immediate sense. You have the physical consequences of war taking place right now. The psychological consequence of war is generations. Generations, right? You've seen it play out time and time because the residual, the psychological residual of having gone through these experiences and violence, worse, violence is deep, man. It's the worst. It is the worst. And so you're right. If we are bombarded with this violence and people are interpreting this violence from their own perspective and coming to their own conclusions about how this happened or what this means, then a percentage, a portion are going to use it as fuel, possibly against people who don't necessarily deserve it or who aren't directly connected to it. It's totally possible. As a result of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, we have temporarily made allowances for forms of political expression that would normally violate our rules like violent speech, such as death to Russian invaders. we still won't allow credible calls for violence against Russian civilians. So they're saying you know what this is like? This reminds me of self-defense laws. When they say, when you can't, like you obviously cannot punch somebody in the face. Can't walk up to somebody and punch them in the face. If they open your front door and start stealing things out of your fridge.
Now you can.
Well, you're defending.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're threatening bodily harm or they're holding you down, it's within your rights to fight back in those scenarios. And so I think what their angle is if it's a military invasion, you have a right to defend yourself. And you have a right to post about defending yourself, I presume. Or you have a right to post calling on others to defend themselves. It's an interesting, this is an internal memo, so who knows if they'll modify this, but it's interesting the speech and the quote that they chose, death to Russian invaders, that would normally violate their rules. But it sounds like that exact statement would not violate their rules in this new scenario. So I guess the key word there is invaders. If it said death to Russians, hate speech.
Yes.
Death to Russian invaders, acceptable. But you see how squirrely it gets with monitoring this and determining what is and isn't. But you have to imagine, Will, when you have something so visceral, when you're engaged in active war, when you are under attack, when the pressure is being applied to you like that, how you might act.
Yeah.
As a civilian, if you were a civilian in Ukraine right now.
This could be a war cry, with, a group of members that we're fighting the war.
Man, you think about the internet and you think about typical social media overreaction, right? This, you suck, KYS. You know what I'm saying? Like the typical, oh God, this is so overboard.
And also very rudimentary.
But then you realize there are a number of scenarios in life, or the potential scenarios where that can be a real daily experience, of a tangible daily experience, that the motivation to get up and to defend your country. It's heavy stuff. Mm-hmm. And social media, man, making these rules. I don't want to be Mark.
No.
You can write that. You can't write that. And then the global consequences. Twitter's the same. You look at the stuff going on Twitter right now.
Uh-huh.
YouTube's the same. You see the stuff going on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Ukraine details what crypto donations are being spent on. The war-torn nation says it has spent the nearly $100 million in crypto it has received to buy bulletproof jackets, helmets, food, and more. $100 million in crypto, that's not nothing, Will.
It's something.
Here we see some of their outfits. I mean, on some level, war, like other things, is not on some level. In a major way, it's economic. It's who's got the funds, who buys the stuff. From March 1, the war-torn nation has used crypto donations to buy 5,500 bulletproof jackets, 410,000 packed lunches, 500 ballistic plates for bulletproof vests, 3,125 thermal imagers and optics, 500 helmets, 3,427 medicines, and 60 walkie-talkies, according to Bornyakov, who I presume Alex Bornyakov, Ukraine's deputy minister in the Ministry of Digital Transformation. Oh, he's another one inside the digital transformation ministry they've been talking about. That's why he's the crypto guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He told CoinDesk that some of Ukraine's weapons suppliers are accepting payments directly in crypto, but he could not reveal what military equipment was being bought because of national security concerns. Directly in crypto. Yes, we will accept your crypto.
Yeah.
You want the vest?
Directly.
You want the vest? We accept the crypto.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah. Potential Chelsea buyers told they can approach UK government. Nick Candy and Hans-Jörg Weiss among interested parties before owner Roman Abramovich sanction. So this is prior, I suppose, to the most recent development as far as the sanctions are concerned that seem to prohibit him from selling at the moment.
Yeah.
But there were interested parties prior to that. Billionaires interested in buying the Chelsea Football Club have been told to approach the UK government with potential takeover proposals after the sanctioning of his current oligarch owner. Okay, so even after, it seems that now they have to go to the UK government to see if it's okay. Hey, can we even do this? Mm-hmm. Fearing the threat of sanctions, Abramovich, 55, had been rushing to sell the club for more than $3 billion, drawing interest from the British property magnate Nick Candy, Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Weiss, U.S. private equity billionaire, and Crystal Palace shareholder Josh Harris, and the American part owner of the LA Dodgers, Todd Boehly. On Thursday, the government froze Abramovich UK assets, including Chelsea FC and a portfolio of luxury properties, including a £150 million mansion yards from Kensington Palace, West London. A mansion will worth £150 million, British pounds, and a £30 million three-story penthouse overlooking Stamford Bridge. Those are some properties, aren't they?
Yes. And he can't sell it. It's on hold. These $3 billion teams, like, it's just, it really makes me think, like, okay, I can sell you this phone, right?
Yeah.
But it's a couple $100.
Mm.
But as soon as it gets to a certain threshold, millions, maybe billions, somehow it's not under your control anymore and you can't sell it. Well, at least not now.
Well, you have like companies and acquisitions and things which at a certain scale, they require some sort of government approvals because they have such a major economic impact.
Yeah.
But normally he would be allowed to do this. The difference in his case is that all these assets are in question now as a consequence of these sanctions. And so there's an extra level of scrutiny, same as their yachts, same as their jets. And
even though he owns them.
Right, because what's under scrutiny is the way in which the funds were secured in order to own those things.
Yes.
And the potential beneficiaries of a sale, right? If there's close connections to the Putin government and yet you are discouraging what that government is doing, if this guy's allowed access to his $3 billion in assets, that's a significant chunk of money that could make its way back into the battlefield in one way or another. I'm not saying that that's what he's going to do. In fact, he had said that if he can sell the team, then the proceeds were going to go towards victims of the war in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Although even that terminology was like,
who really knows?
Which victims?
Yeah.
So it was probably finely tuned and worded. However, they're kind of in a holding pattern. In the meantime, they're sort of freezing these assets, waiting to investigate. But yet this, football is huge in the UK. And to have a holding pattern going on for one of the most important franchises is a difficult proposition.
Is $3 billion for the Chelsea Football Club, is it like a steal of a deal? Or is it expensive? Or
it would be. I believe that it would be the largest sports franchise sale ever.
Okay.
Now, obviously, with inflation and popularity and things, these numbers have been going up. But I don't. Some of the reports I was hearing when the price was originally listed at $3 billion was more like 2.5. There would have been negotiations, but. No, $3 billion is a big number. Don't fool yourself.
Okay, yeah.
YouTube is now blocking Russian state-funded media worldwide. RT and Sputnik have been blocked in Europe for over a week. So they started by blocking them in Europe, those two state-funded networks. And I guess now they've extended that block to the world. YouTube says it will start to completely block YouTube channels funded by the Russian government after it blocked channels like RT and Sputnik in Europe earlier this month. The company also announced that it would be removing content about the Russian invasion of Ukraine that denies, minimizes, or trivializes well-documented violent events. So we're getting back into the misinformation scope that YouTube will aim to determine the documentation of events, the accurate documentation of events, and the inaccurate documentation of events. And I don't know to what extent, with what level of observation or they transitioned a lot into human review. Even us on this show, we talk about these subjects, and you would see certain clips where they want to have a human review on those clips to take a look at it and see what we're saying. Now, as I went through earlier in this show about sort of what our approach is to display that breadth of information and the sort of variety of exposures that a typical person would be having. We aim to showcase that. But we always have to be careful about claims and disclaimers and so forth to accurately represent our actual level of knowledge. Like, hey, we're like you. We're trying to make sense of this thing. There is no agenda other than trying to do that for ourselves and for the people watching. And it would be the approach with the cameras turned off. It's always my approach to this stuff, even with the cameras off. Not trying to, I'd say that's a thing that's actually changed for myself over time is, granting a little bit more space for consideration and really trying to not let your preconceptions determine your availability when it comes to exposure to coverage or information in general. Anyway, so YouTube is going to aim to do this themselves, which of course is going to be controversial for people that disagree. It's going to be controversial for people that don't trust YouTube to do a good job of this. It's going to be controversial for those that prefer to see unregulated social streams of information. But obviously YouTube feels, and you got to remember about YouTube, and social media in general, these are platforms where their business model is predicated on advertising. And as much as these statements may have an altruistic feel to them, it's important to note that not just YouTube, but all the people on YouTube as well, all the businesses on YouTube, all your favorite content creators, the vast majority of those enterprises are also in some way connected to an advertising model. Not all of them. And therefore, there are these outside external inputs that and objectives, and there's going to be requests from these groups to not be associated with certain types of things. Oh, the channel, there you go. Channel's not available in the country. And they're going to make requests, and then businesses are going to respond. Other businesses are going to say, okay, see what we can do. And it's going to be really sensitive. It would be a shame, Will, if all of a sudden we couldn't talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's never the case. Hopefully it's the way you talk about it instead of just the ability to talk about a subject in general. That would be terrifying. Don't say gay bill. Florida Senate passes controversial LGBTQ school measure. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis has signaled he would sign the bill, which would ban classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in primary schools.
Yeah, so this law was passed 2 days ago.
It was passed? It passed the state house last month. It heads to the Republican governor who has previously expressed support for it. So he's got to sign off on it. This is American politics here. I guess so. It goes from the state house and then to the governor, and then at that point, it's done deal. Or is there any other? Let's see. This is going to endanger the safety of our LGBTQ students and adolescents. Senator Annette Taddeo, a Democrat, said during Tuesday's debate, "We will not stop until this state moves forward and actually values everyone in it, everyone no matter their sexual orientation." Parental rights in education bill, which was passed in both legislative bodies. So the bill is called Parental Rights in Education. Has added fuel to the latest American culture war, which has put students in its crosshairs with a combination of book bans, pride flag removals, and bills targeting LGBTQ youth. The measure has even grabbed the attention of international newspapers, Hollywood. Honestly, the only thing I saw about this, I saw it this morning, was Mark Hamill and Ben Shapiro going back and forth on Twitter.
Oh,
These were very popular tweets.
Right.
A lot of activity on those tweets. I believe Mark Hamill, he just tweeted the word gay like a bunch of times.
okay.
And then Ben Shapiro quote tweeted him, and then he quote tweeted Ben Shapiro. I'm not sure why I'm telling you this. I'm just saying that's how I was exposed to it. I'm not surprised. It's obviously a controversial topic, or else we wouldn't have look, Mark Hamill's tweet here. What is this? This is a double quote tweet, I guess. 33,000 retweets, 327,000 likes, almost 6,000 comments. And let's see Ben Shapiro's interaction, actually. Click on the tweet that was being quoted. Yeah, that one.
I think it's a screenshot.
Oh, it's a screenshot. Well, I guess you got to go to his account. But I guess what we're trying to do here is get some sort of a sense of how these communities are interacting with one another at the moment, or not, or refusing to interact with one another. It's not a surprise where these, that this topic has yielded such far apart types of support or lack thereof. Was it a while ago? Or do you have to do replies? Or did he delete the tweet?
He might have deleted.
Interesting development.
3 hours ago.
He deleted the tweet. No.
I'm on replies right now.
You best be sure about it, Will, before you make the claim.
I'm on it.
So you think you're going on the record and saying it's deleted, which is interesting.
That's why there's a screenshot.
It must be.
I'm guessing.
But the screenshot would have had to been at a moment when it was up, or someone could have sent the screenshot.
Oh,
possibly.
Maybe it was a while ago because it was tweeted March 8th. That was 3 days ago.
Oh, and then
when the bill passed.
And then his latest,
I would probably have to go back more.
Yeah. I got you. But anyway, so Ben Shapiro says no indoctrination of small children into gender and sexual ideology. And Mark Hamill says, obviously disagrees with that. He says, "Hi, Ben, I love mind-reading acts. Now guess which finger I'm holding up." I suppose that's his way. He's holding the middle finger.
Yes, he probably is.
The metaphorical middle finger up to Ben Shapiro. So you have a disagreement in place. You have different position on this. And you have a government that has one point of view, and you have the public, a percentage of the public that has a different point of view. This bill says parents, your right to raise your children does not end when they walk into a classroom. This bill recognizes that parents are not the enemy. That's from Republican Senator Danny Burgess. The measure bans classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. Oh, so they're only talking about kindergarten through third grade, I guess. Oh, wait a second. It also prohibits such teaching in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students, which critics say could be interpreted to extend to all grade levels. Okay, so I guess there's a couple different elements there that have proven to be controversial. What can I say? I don't think this one's going away. I think people are going to continue to disagree on this. Like and the evidence for me is what you're seeing on Twitter and what you're seeing in the States. I saw people on Twitter calling for companies like Disney and others to pull out of Florida.
Yeah.
You have the story.
Yes.
Disney censors same-sex affection in Pixar films, according to a letter from employees. Oh, this is different from what I saw.
Oh, okay.
I saw the public calling for certain companies to punish Florida for this recent bill that's going on. But anyway, of course, that's what's going on. That's how social media works. It's very divisive. Not all the time, but you have this topic has some pretty strong support and some pretty strong resistance.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. Disney being part of Florida.
Yes.
Disney World.
Disney World.
And Pixar films, I think under Disney, there seems to be a big LGBTQ community there in the Pixar industry or Pixar company.
Okay.
And they actually called out the CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek.
Okay, so this is employees at the company that are signing some type of petition.
Mm-hmm.
In a statement attributed to the LGBTQIA+, that keeps getting bigger, doesn't it?
It sure does, yeah.
Employees of Pixar and their allies obtained by Variety, employees of the animation studio allege that Disney corporate executives have demanded cuts from nearly every moment of gay affection, regardless of when there's protest from both the creative teams and executive. So presumably these things have existed in Pixar films, and then it gets to the higher ups, and then they end up cutting it out.
They're cutting it out now. There's certain scenes in Pixar movies that need to be edited out for worldwide release.
Oh, for different regions.
Yeah.
The stunning claim is part of a wider reaction to the company-wide memo sent to Disney employees by CEO Bob Chapek on Monday regarding its response to the recently passed... Oh, so it does have to do with the legislation in Florida. Mm-hmm. According to the Pixar letter, the claim is at odds with the employees' experience of trying to create content. Okay, so trying to create content. So I don't think it ever made it into any of these films.
There were a few examples here.
Oh, okay.
The 2020 fantasy film Onward, which features a Cyclops police officer named Spectre, which is a woman. And she said that, let me see.
It's not easy being a new parent. My girlfriend's daughter got me pulling my hair out, okay? But the movie was banned in Kuwait, Oman, Qatar. Well, is this really hard to understand? Is this really all that complicated? Yeah, Disney wants the movie absolutely everywhere. Mm-hmm. And they make business decisions that I guess are at odds with people's values. Yeah. But it's not surprising. Kuwait,
sure.
The same year, Pixar released a short film Out on Disney Plus about a gay man who struggles with coming out to his parents. The latest Pixar animated feature, Turning Red, debuts on Disney Plus on March 11th.
Yeah, which is weird. I believe that it's a bit weird if they cut it for American release.
Well, but I don't think that's what they're stating here, is it? And now maybe
that's what the title states.
Disney censors. Well, no, it doesn't say that. Disney censors same-sex affection for Pixar films.
But will they eventually? Based on this bill
I
in
think
Florida.
I think you're allowed. Oh, I don't think that bill in Florida affects affects. Well, I guess it would. I mean, it could influence their decisions as far as, but that's so hard to figure out, right? Like, which decision is creative? Which decision is business? Which decision is regional? Which decision, it might be easier for them to cut it out if they are interested in global release and if they look at their economics and they say, well, China represents this and
Sure, yeah.
this region represents that. And so it's a lot of factors that are going into this decision-making process. It's not as simple as, it's not as simple as groups want it to be. They want it to be simple and say, well, too bad, so sad, screw the places or regions or people that don't like a certain thing. But it's just that point of view is lacking some degree of consideration, or it's a very kind of confrontational point of view. Now, there are plenty of things that people believe in that they are willing to fight for, and that's completely within people's rights as well to make a case for that. And it's also completely within people's rights to start their own animation company and tell any stories they want without being under the thumb or control of companies like Disney as well.
It is unfortunate that these films are censored in other regions because Pixar is known to be very liberal and freeing of many.
Is it?
I think so.
To name a okay? So I've seen Pixar films,
Like Toy Story, for
but what
example.
about
Like
what happened? What happened in Toy Story?
like who would watch that and be like, I'm offended compared to like many other movies that's out there? It seems like it's the most minimal in terms of offending anyone.
I know, but the argument here is,
But yet they still have to make hard decisions like these. You can't escape it.
I know, but I think this call is actually the opposite of that. They're saying that Disney should take a chance on edgier stuff. And by edgier, I don't, okay, maybe that's the wrong terminology, but that Disney should take a stand on certain topics, even if people don't like it or disagree. That Disney is too generic. They're too safe. They're too Toy Story.
Sure.
That's the actual argument. So, but it's tough, man. It's where else can you place these demands onto companies? And what if people said McDonald's isn't doing enough for this group or that group? It's a very difficult thing to police. It ends up being up to Disney, and Disney has to figure out the benefits and drawbacks from their perspective, whatever their beliefs happen to be at the top of it, and also whatever approach they have to a business and their strategy around release and managing the variety of regions they hope to get into. Like, that's actually what's going on. And then employees are going to have to decide if they don't like those decisions. They're going to have to decide what they're going to do about it, whether it's striking or quitting or, like I said, or
starting up their own
or
studio.
attempting to work for a group that they feel that they are. Now, it's tough to say that because Disney's a powerhouse, cultural powerhouse. So I think probably the approach here is seen as the more potentially effective one, to force Disney to change, as opposed to the alternative, which is a very daunting or what would you say, like really ambitious thing to try to produce a piece of content that would be so good without the machine of Disney that it would somehow get in front of people. I mean, it's harder than ever to get something in front of people in the current media landscape. So it'll come down to numbers, man. It'll come down to numbers within Disney and what the beliefs and what the position of employees within Disney is.
The bottom line.
It'll come down to the bottom line.
Yeah.
And
I hear you.
And they're going to have to, it's hard to even know your own company, right? When you're at that scale, to know, okay, how badly do we have to do this? Like, how many people want us to tell this other story? Or how many people here don't want us to do that kind of thing? And this happens in once groups get large enough, this happens. You get groups inside of groups.
Yeah.
That's inevitable.
Group politics.
Good luck to all parties involved.
Oh, this is not working. Okay, here we go.
Apple CEO Tim Cook slams deeply. Oh, yes, I saw his tweet.
Yeah,
I saw
this will
his
be
tweet.
the end of the Don't Say Gay bill. There's a whole section.
Where
does
that? What is that? It's not.
It's the bill.
It's not called that.
Are you sure?
Well, I thought I read.
Maybe that's just the way that, like, it's easier to digest. I almost feel like it was. No.
I don't know. It seems like they've the measure dubbed. So
Dubbed.
I don't know who called it that. I believe the official name of the bill, the Parental Rights and Education Bill. But anyway, okay.
Right. You're right.
Okay, because you got me confused for a second there. You can say there's no bill that can stop you from saying gay.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
I guess it's just easy to remember.
It rhymes.
Sure. Yeah.
It rhymes. Yeah. Tim Cook is a famous person who also happens to be in the LGBTQ. I was going to put Q, but now they just put plus there.
Yeah. Now it's different.
Whatever. It's because in a headline you run out of space, and they're just like, I think you can put.
It's a character.
I think you can put the plus at any point. Really? Well, maybe not any point. You probably have to have those four, and then you can put the plus. Anyway, he's describes himself as a proud member of the LGBT plus community, and he put out a tweet today. And hopefully you can bring up the actual tweet. I'll just read it. As a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community, I am deeply concerned about laws being enacted across the country. He doesn't actually name Florida. Interesting. Particularly those focused on our vulnerable youth. I stand with them and the families, loved ones, and allies who support them. 25,900 likes. How many followers does he have? That's kind of curious. I feel like that tweet would have blown up more. 13 million. Only 2,900 retweets. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, that's very little. 19 hours ago.
25,000 likes, 700 replies. Let's read some of the replies. I'm always curious in the volume, like the public perception. People vote with their interactions. It doesn't. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, here's the top tweet underneath says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but nowhere in the Don't Say Gay bill does it say the word gay. It doesn't target or even mention LGBT, nor does it prohibit saying gay in school. It simply says no classroom instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity, kindergarten to third grade. And then you have another high-profile tweet. As a proud parent and ally of the community, I stand with you, Tim Cook, and the community, their families, loved ones, and fellow allies. So anyway, I don't know why I was surprised by the amount of interaction. I just thought, like, Tim Cook, as far as open supporters and high-profile people, he's kind of that guy. I thought, but I might be blind because of that being in the tech community and his level of prominence. But this is always interesting to me, is the story zoomed out as far as how humans are really interacting with these controversial topics, as opposed to getting too deep into why a particular group believes one thing over another. Like, this is going to be forever for humans. that we will have differing points of view, and we probably should have differing points of view in many cases in order for there to be some kind of alternative approaches to things. Yeah,
Sure.
That maybe that's not such a bad thing that many different people, within reason, obviously, without harming other people, obviously, directly, indirectly in certain ways. But then when you zoom out and you try to look at it from the standpoint of, okay, let's look at large scale populations and sort of move outside of ourselves and our knee-jerk reaction to something that we read. What are humans really doing with this? Like, how big of a deal is this? It's interesting to me. And the reason it is because it's more definitive. In other words, we can say we have a record now of his tweet and the amount of interactivity with it from a volume perspective. Now, let's give people like some sort of reference point, and I'm not trying to minimize it. I'm trying to just showcase how scale and the medium here plays a role in determining what people are actually talking about and how much people care about things, or how many people care about things via social media interactions.
But also, he's not a communicator on Twitter as well. He doesn't tweet a lot. Does that make a difference?
Sure it does. All these factors make a difference. Like you're saying, it wouldn't be fair to compare him to Elon Musk, for example.
No, because he doesn't even have conversations here. He doesn't tweet a lot.
Well, that's. Are you lodging a separate criticism?
No. I just think this tweet maybe is justified. The amount of interaction.
Maybe that tweet is performing good enough for his. Did he tweet about Ukraine? I want to compare to Ukraine, LGBTQ plus to Ukraine. I don't know if you're going to be able to find it, but I'd be curious. Yeah, keep going.
February.
Oh, damn. He didn't.
I thought he did.
Tweet about Ukraine.
Yeah.
Here. Oh, I'm deeply concerned with the situation in Ukraine. We're doing all we can. 3,761 retweets, but it has had more time. And 43,000 likes. It has had more time.
It is a better tweet in terms of interactions.
No, what do you mean? It's a hotter tweet. It's a hotter tweet. Yeah, but it has had more time. We have to check up on this later on to see. And there's other factors, by the way, like trying to analyze data. Good Lord. That's why algorithms are employed and not Will and myself. But you can gather insights. You just have to understand the beginning, like what you can actually derive from it and where the limitations live. Because maybe Tim Cook just has 3,000 to 4,000 super fans that retweet everything that he says. Do you know what I'm saying? And that there wouldn't be much discrepancy in what the content actually is. I realize I'm in the weeds here, but I'm very interested in media and I can't help it.
I hear you.
I really care about what people care about. If people care about it, I want to know how much they care about it or how many of them care about it.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Okay.
Spotify says Joe Rogan not to blame as it loses 1.5 million subscribers. 1.5 million subscribers seems like a lot. Well,
can you guess why?
Ukraine? COVID?
They say it's because of Russia.
Oh, Russia. Okay. So, streaming giant Spotify is bracing for a loss of 1.5 million paying subscribers in the first quarter of 2022. It says Joe Rogan is not to blame. Rogan has faced backlash. We're well aware of this. We've covered it many times. However, the company revealed its decision to suspend its premium service in Russia amid its invasion of Ukraine has had more of an impact. According to Variety, the information was shared by Spotify CFO Paul Vogel as he spoke at Morgan Stanley's 2022 Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference on Wednesday. Though he didn't directly name the former Fear Factor host. Who describes
Fear Factor?
Who describes him?
From like 1991.
That is so irrelevant at this point. Very strange. Vogel did allude to the furor sparked by the media personalities podcast. However, the true impact of the numbers appears to have come from its suspension of services in Russia, with Vogel stating that Spotify was previously trending toward adding 8 million total users, including 3 million paying subscribers in the first quarter of 2022 after Russian military attacks. So what? They're saying they had 1 million subscribers in Russia?
I'm surprised.
No, I don't think they're even saying that specifically. This is very hard to connect.
Yeah. There might be other factors, but they said that Russia, the lack of subscriptions is the main.
Appears to have come from its suspension of services in Russia. Okay. Well, listen, they're saying it.
They are. Yeah.
They're saying it, so I presume they have the data, the evidence necessary.
And it's not the guy from Fear Factor
to suggest, that it isn't the guy that from Fear Factor that causes. Although I'm sure people are going to read into this however they want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You will certainly have people from the hashtag group that were canceling Spotify from the Neil Young call that came out at one point, and then others that followed suit afterwards. But who knows? I mean, he may have been adding subscribers that whole time.
Yeah.
People may have been bringing more attention to him at that time. That's the thing. I'm sensing a trend here, Will. You don't necessarily know what you're doing talking about these things. It all ultimately comes down to the individual on the other end and how they want to see it. You may be amplifying a signal that you don't even necessarily agree with. It's possible.
That's true.
When it comes down to human decision-making and influence and all these things, Will.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do you hear me, Will? I don't know if you hear me.
I do. I'm just trying to make sure that the browser doesn't explode right now.
Yeah, you're hitting the browser hard with the internet. You're doing internet things on the internet.
Yeah.
Tesla is tripling your Model Y delivery time if you don't add on the $12,000 FSD option. Ooh, tactics. This stuff exists all over the place. Like, isn't Rivian going to build their most expensive ones first and
to fund the cheaper ones?
Yeah, exactly. To get more money in your pocket now, just in general, pay your bills. A recent update to Tesla's website configurator reveals it is interesting because I know you're a big configurator guy, Will.
Yes.
You spend way too much time in there. And it is interesting how there's little tidbits in there if you're paying attention. Oh, I picked this option. What did it do to the other options that are grayed out now? Or what did it do to the delivery time? Or what did it do to the, I don't know, whatever. They have effects. And you got to kind of go and check what happens if you do that. Like me, when I'm ordering from Amazon, I'm like, I need 3. And they're like, oh, that's going to be 2 weeks now instead of tomorrow. I'm like, oh, what if I only need 2? And they're like, tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm like, oh, I just figured out how many are in the warehouse.
You hacked the system.
I'm anonymous at that point.
Yeah.
The hacking group.
Yeah.
I'm not. A recent update to Tesla's website configurator reveals it is prioritizing reservations that include the $12,000 full self-driving option, at least for the Model Y and Model 3. For reservations of the Model Y in particular, delivery estimates change from 6 months from today to 2 months simply by choosing the FSD add-on option. Well, you're going to be real lucky to get a Tesla in 2 months. I'm just going to tell you that right now, all right? Don't get too carried away because I had a lot of delays with mine, so I don't know. I just assume it's a possibility for anyone.
Still waiting.
Having first begun deliveries 2 years ago, the Tesla Model Y remains the American automaker's most recent model to reach production. Since then, it has become a pivotal EV in helping the company gain an even larger global market share. Yeah. So Model 3, estimated delivery April 2022. What? That's fast. So you get a Model 3 in April right now?
I guess so. I guess they're cranking them out.
And the Model Y isn't coming till May, but only, like I said, if you get the premium, wait a second.
FSD.
FSD. But the other one to the left has the FSD. It says September 2022. And they selected FSD, didn't they? Oh, no, they didn't. Never mind. It's not added. You're right. Look at that. You're either getting May or September. It's a little $12,000 express shipping.
Did you get it for yours? Have you tried it?
Well, because the thing was the beta no, because I haven't driven it since that. You're talking about the beta?
Whatever the full self-driving, is it beta here?
It's recently beta here. And I have to go in the car and select to enable it, and then it will be on a limited thing. Like not everyone's going to get it.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, cool, it's active. I'm part of the beta.
It's crazy that this is just software.
Yes.
Right? And I'm guessing you can buy it at any point, like after you purchase your Tesla, but just more expensive.
I actually don't know what happens to the price if you buy it at a later date. But yeah, it's software. So I don't know.
Man, that's a big...
I don't know if you can add it later. You better be sure on that, because for
maybe someone in the comments
$12,000 software, are you sure there's no extra sensors associated with it?
I don't know.
But I do feel like you're right. I feel like I've heard in the past you can add it later. So maybe it's just, and if in my case, if I'm getting the beta at a later date, you can cancel FSD capability subscription at any time in the Tesla app or Tesla account or the subscription model. Can I get FSD later? Tesla can increase the price for a subscription at any time, but will give drivers a 1-month advance notice before billing them at a new rate. Owners can cancel FSD at any time, but the company won't prorate their monthly payment. So Tesla debuts an FSD subscription for $199 a month.
Oh, okay. So you don't buy it all at once. Like after you get your Tesla, you want FSD, then you have to pay a subscription.
It's an interesting tactic.
Very interesting.
It's a funny angle. I guess it lets you distribute the cost. But, you look at the Model Y starting at $39,000. FSD looks so expensive next to that base price.
It does.
Jeez.
Yeah, it does.
A $12,000 option. And then, obviously, if you go to like a Model S Plaid or something, it's less of a percentage of the overall cost of the car. But on a Model 3, like, would you get it on a Model 3 at that price?
Oh, man. It would probably be like, what, 15,000?
Canadian?
16,000 Canadian?
Yeah, you're convert to Canadian.
Oh, man, I don't think so. It'd be so cool, but I don't think so. And it's also beta.
You could wait. You could definitely wait.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Crazy.
Let's not worry about it because you got the Bronco coming anyway.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Do you want to take a break?
Oh, no? Yes, absolutely. Good idea. We'll be right back.
Okay.
This episode is sponsored by Audible. My God, I love Audible. I use Audible. I'm using Audible right now. I am so jam-packed in my life with the scheduling. I don't have the time to read the things I want to read. And if it wasn't for Audible, it would just be completely off the map. That's it. It would be over. I would read nothing. That's the level I'm at right now. The only time I have is in the car. I was telling him, I got documentaries going on. I'm not saying I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I know. You're listening to it.
I'm trying to maximize. Yeah. And one of the ways that I still feel I can listen to the things I want to listen to, the classics, the news, whatever, is because of Audible.
Yep, makes it easy.
So I'm pointing. That screen right there, I'm pointing. Yeah. That's Audible. Right now, I am listening to Animal Farm.
Ooh, what's that?
This is a classic, okay? And there's a couple of them on there to be aware of. This is George Orwell. And maybe you read it in school, maybe you don't recall.
I don't recall.
This is about a couple of animals who take over the farm. They oust
the farmer.
Okay. And a lot of stuff happens. All right.
No spoilers.
And it may be commentary on some of the things that are going on in the world right now.
Oh.
And have gone on in the world previously, historically. So you give it a listen. All right. Now, there is a version on Audible, which is dramatized. That one right there by the BBC. This is a really interesting listen. You got sound effects and animal sounds, and it's actors.
Okay,
but
so it's fun.
Audio.
Yeah.
And it's a different way to listen to audio. But you might hate it. Like they have the regular version.
Right.
If you want. But you can also do a sample of the dramatized and check that one out. And hour and 26 minutes. It's an experience, to say the least. I'm about halfway done the hour 26 right now, and it made my car very entertaining. Like if I'm about to get in the car, I'm like, let's see where we're at with this one. But it's a classic. If you haven't, I'm just recommending a classic now. George Orwell, Animal Farm.
Visit audible.com/LouLater or text LouLater to 500-500. That's audible.com/LouLater or text LouLater to 500-500. Thanks to Audible.
Today's episode sponsored by HelloFresh. Take the stress out of mealtime, just like Mo likes to do, and I like to do. When you're in a pinch, you still want to eat well. You want to eat a number of ingredients that your body needs. You can't, what do you do? You can't reach for a box of crackers in the evening. You need nutrition. You need sustenance. You got to wake up the next day and be productive. So you might need a Monterey Jack unfried chicken or a sweet chili pork and cabbage stir fry. You might need one pan beef enchilada verde.
Had that before. It's dope.
Are you talking about the takeout favorite with Mexican cheese and hot crema?
I think mine was with the minced turkey.
Delicioso, as Dora likes to say when it's on in my house. Will's always got to do it to me at the wrong time of day when I'm hungry. Garlic, herb, chicken. These things are ready in like 30 minutes. Look at that, though. The spinach ricotta ravioli, only 15 minutes. Plus, it's calorie smart, veggie, and cook together for a little bit of romance in your life. It's HelloFresh. It's a no-brainer. You can eat these beautiful dishes without all this crazy input and shopping. My God. Shows up to your door. It's so easy to put it together. Everyone's a chef with HelloFresh.
HelloFresh has fit and wholesome recipes for satisfying and nutritious meals that you can feel good about, with 6 recipes per week to choose from, including low-calorie and carb-conscious options. Warm yourself up from the inside out with limited-time recipes inspired by cozy classics from around the world, like beef tenderloin and cheese fondue, or miso sesame, shrimp, and bacon ramen. Go to HelloFresh.com/LouLater16 and use the code LouLater16 for up to 16 free meals. That's HelloFresh.com/LouLater16 and use the code LouLater16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts.
We're also sponsored by Code Academy. This is where you can go online and learn to code. This is because you want to have a new career path, or you want to enhance your current career path, because you want to get in where everybody wants to be. You want to be a developer. And Willie Do has dabbled. He's dabbled because he's a Renaissance man. So you never know. He may throw together. He might be the next Flappy Bird. He might be the next Wordle.
I'm building Web3.
He might be building Web3. And look at this. If you head over to Code Academy, it can be web development, computer science, developer tools. Look at all the subjects, web design, and all the languages. Well, you know these languages. Scroll up a little bit on the left there. HTML and CSS, Python, JavaScript, Java, SQL, Ruby, C++. What's your tool of choice there, Maestro?
I'll try Swift.
Ooh, what a name. A little Swift for Swift Willie Do.
Oh, nice.
Swift like a fox, sly like a fox, swiper, no swiping.
And we've come full circle.
Seriously, though, it's like everything else. You want to do it online, all right? You don't need to go anywhere, okay? You're in the comfort of your own home. Get it together. Be efficient. click the start button, learn HTML. Look at all the people who've taken a course. Over 5 million people have taken a course. It tells you how long to complete. You have the prerequisites in there. Learn from home. Learn to code. Get a better job. Hey, what's holding you back now, huh?
With Codecademy, learn at your own pace and get qualified for in-demand jobs. No matter what your experience level, you'll be writing real, working code in minutes. Not sure where to begin? Codecademy will point you in the right direction. Join over 50 million people learning to code with Codecademy and see where coding can take you. Get 15% off your Codecademy Pro membership when you go to codecademy.com and use the promo code LATER. That's promo code LATER at codecademy.com to get 15% off Codecademy Pro. The best way to learn to code. codecademy.com, promo code LATER.
Look at that. It's like magic. We go cut to the break, and then you come back, and then there's Mo. Right. It's like,
there he is.
Beam me up. And he just plops right in there.
Yeah. I'm just realizing I think I'm wearing the same sweater.
You got no microphone, Mo. No one can hear what you're saying.
I got
right?
you,
It's
man.
just
I got
you
you.
talking to me.
I'm there. I'm here.
And what was it you wanted to say? We couldn't hear you there.
I was just saying I just noticed I'm wearing the same sweater in the ad than I am right now.
Whoa.
Well, we shot this the same day, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Mo, come on. Don't give this away.
Right.
Jeez, man. Anyway, where were you? What's going on?
I was getting some work done.
All right, were you actually?
Of course, man.
Whoa, you got a defensive
no,
there.
I like being on the show.
You
if
almost,
I'm not here,
you almost jumped across and attacked.
Yeah.
You went, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah,
No. All right, let's get to some news, though.
Are you sure about that? You don't want to talk about where you've been? You sure about that?
Oh, I was just working on an unboxing.
Rivian announces Q4 results, loses $2.4 billion, revises production to 25,000 EVs in 2022. I mean, you gotta. It's rough. It's rough for the Rivian. Out
Revises. What was it before?
Well, I'm saying they've been changing. They've been in the news.
They've been back and forth.
They've been going back and forth because it's hard making these EVs. Supply and demand, production of such things. Elon said it many times. He goes, it's not the ideas. What do you think? It's the ideas? What do you think?
No.
What do you think? It's the drawings? What do you think? It's
Ideas are a dime a dozen.
You got to build it, manufacturing. Tough, man. Rivian has released its Q4 2022 earnings. Confirmed it lost $2.4 billion during the last quarter and still faces significant challenges in ramping up production. The automaker revised production target to 25,000. It plans to lose money on those. That's why they try to up the price tag? And people were like, no, thank you.
You're trying to balance it
They're
out.
like, no, thank you. We saw that Bezos investment. Well, you can lose more. Why don't you go ahead and lose more, Rivian?
I don't know if they want to lose anymore.
No, they don't. But I'm just,
Who was that?
I don't know. Who did it sound like?
Disgruntled Rivian purchaser?
Yeah, that's exactly who it was.
Okay.
You nailed it.
All right.
The automaker revised the production target. Investors are focused on Rivian's production ramp up. They want to know, can you actually make cars? Hey, I'm an investor. Can you actually make cars? Or else I'll take my investment elsewhere. Rivian confirmed it produced only 1,410 vehicles so far in 2022. Wow, those are very rare. 1,410. If you spot one of these in the wild, let me tell you,
That's crazy.
Let me tell you, it's a rare beast. We are focused on our production ramp and are encouraged by the team's progress. This is reflected in strong recent week-over-week production rate growth, wherein our output has been constrained primarily by supplier constraints. The critical production areas of the plant, including battery module, general assembly, skateboard assembly, body shop. Mo, skateboard assembly. Go ahead.
What? Skateboard assembly?
Go
There's
ahead.
no way it says that.
Right there. Highlight it, Will. Go ahead, Mo. Right there.
What is skateboard assembly?
Highlight it. Highlight it, Will.
Is
No.
it the like
Go ahead.
what
Mo.
you would imagine the skateboard part of the car be? The wheels and just like a bed?
What?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what skateboard assembly means.
Shall we? Do you know?
Yeah, no, he's right. It's absolutely right. I was just
Oh, okay.
Goofing with you.
You're just tricking me. I see.
yeah, just goofing with you. Yeah, that's exactly right. They build this skateboard, which becomes a platform for all their vehicles,
Right.
And then they just plug in different
Okay.
components to it, and they
It's the foundation.
They possibly even sell it to other automakers. Make your own car on top of our skateboard.
Oh, so a bit of a skeleton?
It's the important
Well, maybe not skeleton.
electronic components which other companies may have difficulty developing or engineering, but they may want to do their take on some other type of passenger vehicle.
Right.
But you have your battery in there, you have your electric motor, blah blah blah, all in
So
one
this, right?
contained unit. You
Yeah,
nailed it.
there
That's
we go.
right. That's right.
There we go.
That's right. Skateboard assembly. Body shop, paint shop continued to each set record weekly production levels for Rivian. During the 2 trailing weeks prior to March 8th, we averaged a weekly production rate that was approximately 2 times the exit rate of Q4 2021. As of March 8th, we have produced 1,410 vehicles in 2022 and 2,425 vehicles since the start of production. There's 2,425 Rivians in the world,
Right.
presumably. I mean, maybe that doesn't account for promo vehicles or employee. I don't know. I would think it would. It's not a lot that are out there.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're counting everyone that they made.
Right, right. Like the one in the back that barely works,
Count that one.
has a big scratch in it. They're like, yes, we made it. Yeah, the struggles continue, man. It's not easy.
Well, it's tough.
It's not easy. They're going to keep bleeding money for a while, and or they might have to call up Bezos again. Well, the team over there at Rivian might pick up the phone and say, Jeff, time to sell a yacht.
Yeah, stop working on your rockets. Come help us.
We know you're sailing right now in the Netherlands. We know you're
You're trapped in the Rotterdam Bridge.
Yeah, we know exactly. We know you're stuck in the harbor because your sails are too big.
Yeah.
But we need a couple more billies real quick. Wire some billies. We accept crypto.
Yeah. Can you do that real quick?
We got no problems with your crypto if you want. A rule change now allows deliveries of self-driving vehicles without steering wheels or pedals.
Whoa.
Ooh, the future.
Is there a... Whoa, that's cool looking.
Yeah, that's when entertainment becomes a focal point because you're getting driven around all the time. You get to catch up on your flicks. You get to catch up on your tubes. You get to catch up on whatever you need to catch up on.
Right. That's cool.
But I guess you would need this type of change to take place. People would have to have enough confidence in self-driving systems to...
Oh, yeah. What if it breaks down? You don't get to manually take over. And now you're just trapped.
Maybe in the future, Mo, no one knows how to drive anything. And it breaks down and you call a number and you sit and wait.
What if no one has cars? They just rent them.
Right. It's just a...
Capsule.
Taxi service.
Yeah.
Let me, I need a capsule. No, I mean, maybe one day, but I think people like their private space.
Yeah.
Like Mo commutes, right? He's not doing the carpooling. This guy, he can't stand it.
He also has a dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't carpool with another dog. Imagine 2 people, 2 dogs carpooling
No.
down to 400.
Those dogs got to get along, too.
Yeah.
Cole doesn't get along with everybody. You're very picky.
You're talking about like a fight going on in the back seat.
Exactly.
you're
in the middle.
You're trying to act like nothing's happening. Like, isn't it lovely, this carpooling?
Right.
No, I mean, some people are doing it, but there is something about having your private space on the road, which is, I mean, Will, you just bought the Bronco, man. So you know what I'm talking about.
Owning your own car.
Sure.
You're not going to let anyone in there.
No.
Yeah, like you're not inviting. We're not even gonna get to check it out. You're gonna roll
no
up in
touching.
it. You're gonna roll up in it. I'm gonna be like, hey man, let me take a look. And the window just goes up. Full tint. The U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has officially changed the long-standing rule that is now creating a path for automakers to deliver self-driving vehicles without steering wheels or pedals. This is like we've seen concept cars like this in the past.
Right.
We've seen concept cars, Mo, where the steering wheel is actually retractable. It goes in, so it's
cool.
not bothering you,
Right.
and you're fully relaxed, and then you press a button and the steering wheel comes
When
out.
you need it, it just comes out.
Do you see the hand gesture here?
I love that.
Reflecting the hand gesture you had when you had the original question, so then I present to you the solution with my hands.
Right.
A steering column extending into the passenger compartment is taking up space and is not actually needed if the vehicle can drive itself, with more and more driverless transport services being approved on U.S. roads, including Waymo in Arizona and California and Cruise in California. Some tweaks to those regulations have become needed. Several companies, including GM and Tesla, have made clear that they intend to produce vehicles without steering wheels, and now they're going to be able to do it in the U.S. U.S. regulators on Thursday issued final rules eliminating the need for automated vehicle manufacturers to equip fully autonomous vehicles with manual driving controls to meet crash standards. So this lays the groundwork. This change sets the stage for these future vehicles, for your future vehicle, Mo.
It was really cool looking.
No steering wheel.
No steering wheel, no pedal. Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool, but you'd have to like really experience to have an opinion.
Because you're already worried when I just put this self-driving on the Tesla
Plaid, yeah.
and the wheel is
moving,
or the yoke, and you're like, I don't know. Remember?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's really exhilarating watching it happen, but then
if you don't even have it at all, it's not even an option for you. Now it's a stretch for Mo.
Yeah, there needs to be a acceptance there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these things have to be really good for a while, and then you're not even going to think about it.
With the steering wheel.
Give me like the car crashing. What are you talking about? That hasn't happened since 2022, and we're in 2047 at that point. Are you going to make it to 2047, Mo?
I hope so.
What's the over/under?
I don't know. Say it in the chat.
I think he's going to do it.
Parlay that.
I think he's going to do it, Will. I think he's going to make it to 2047.
I think so.
That's what I like about him.
Get a load of this one.
You know what? I might get a load of that one.
Get a load of this one.
You know what? That's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Apocalypse, dark horse, mean looking Ford Bronco, 6x6, 225 inches with a stretched extra axle. Oh, you need to cancel your current order, Will.
And get this beast?
Yeah.
This is more your style. This is more
so cool.
What a guy like you would drive.
And it has a hard
town.
top.
I mean, you can really take advantage of something like this. Enormous tire and wheel setup, and most importantly, the extra axle allowing for an extra set of tires and wheels. So now you got 6, and you create an absolute unit where they replace the bumper in the front. So you have a totally different approach angle. It looks lift. I mean, it's obviously higher up.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of a smile.
It becomes a pickup truck sort of too, because they left it as a two-row vehicle, but then there's essentially a truck bed.
Mm-hmm.
That you get because of the extension to fit in
the other tires,
the last axle there. Mm-hmm. The team at Apocalypse Manufacturing took a new Ford Bronco and converted it into a fully functional 6-wheel drive vehicle. 6-wheel drive. So, wow, that's a lot of traction. The dark horse is what the company calls this mean creation because this stallion has a mean. The dark horse is what this company calls the mean creation because this stallion has a mean streak. But they said mean creation and mean streak.
Yeah.
In front, the Ford Bronco 6x6 features a new bumper with a light bar in the center and stacked lamps on each side. It also has some huge tow hooks. The upgraded suspension gives rig a 4.0-inch lift. Okay. So we were right about that. Let's see it with the doors off. Now that's how you might spot Willie Do. I want you to picture him rolling. Picture him.
Those seats look nice.
Mo.
Too.
Yeah, they changed the interior.
Mo.
Yeah, Will up front and Otis out back. I like it.
Picture him, Mo.
I'm excited to see Will in this.
Easy.
Will, you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Will in this.
Why you gotta do that?
You did it, not me.
Technically, you're right.
Will. Yeah, go ahead, Will. How much? I mean, I'm going to pay $200,000 for this or what? What's this thing cost?
I don't know. I'm just looking at the pictures. You say 200,000?
No,
I don't know if it's on sale.
I don't know. Well, I
I don't
mean,
know if they're gonna sell it.
what else are they going to do with it? I presume you wouldn't go through all this work just for a one of one, would you?
Yeah,
Oh, that's it.
they do a lot of modifications.
Oh, okay. I thought for sure that they would
Show it off in car shows.
Well, if you pay them enough, they'll build it for you. Because there's there's another company that Hennessy has done
Yeah.
Setups in the past. Yeah, they've done lots of builds. So I just figured, oh, there you go. Here we have prices. The builds from Apocalypse Manufacturing include the Ram TRX-based Warlord for $250,000, the Jeep Gladiator-based Hellfire. Doesn't say a price there.
No price.
Oh, there we go. The company said this build starts at $399.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Why $399 if the TRX is $250? Click on the TRX model.
Of the extra wheel.
No, the TRX Warlord is going to have the same thing, right? Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
And that's $250. So I wonder why it's so much more complex. I guess, yeah, well.
Yeah, for double the price.
I don't know. That's a tough one. They do it, you see the Jeep one that they do to the Gladiator as well. But
Oh yeah, let's look at that one.
it's there. I think that, yeah, there you go. The Hellfire
Oh, that looks like
Whoa.
Mad Max.
Punisher. It got
Exactly,
that
Will. That
Punisher
looks
front end. Will, can you park that?
No.
Are you going to be able to park that?
Well, it would be like as long as an RV or something.
Let's see. The that's Sprinter that I have, I think, is just under 20 feet. So not that long. I don't think you're quite that long at this point. I don't think you can live in there. You could, whatever. Do it. You can live anywhere. It's up. I mean, depending on the climate.
Right.
I think you could do winter camping in the back of any of these, Will, and you could create a YouTube channel, and it would be all types of ambience and crackling and winter camping.
Yeah, the Dark Horse.
Yeah,
Cool.
very cool. Grimes is facing a ton of backlash for saying that billionaire Elon Musk lives below the poverty line because they live in a very insecure $40,000 house, and he wouldn't even get a new mattress. Like, bro wouldn't even get a new mattress. Bro does not live like a billionaire. Bro lives at times below the poverty line, to the point where I was like, can we not live in a very insecure $40,000 house? Can we not live? Yeah. Oh, can we not live? Can we not live in this very insecure $40,000 house?
I think that was a joke, right?
Yeah. It's a joke.
People took it very seriously.
Well, he is the richest man in the world at times. And if you recall, do you recall the Colbert joke from yesterday that Mo was pissed off about?
Okay, well.
He said, you know what? Mo said, you know what? This is elitist.
That's exactly what I said.
No, the people in the report said that it was elitist. And so to joke about, let's say, the poverty line at all in reference to the world's richest man, you can see, Will, how some people might not love it.
Yeah,
Can you see it, Will?
I can see it.
Will. I mean, when people say I'm a class traitor, that is not an inaccurate description. I was deeply from the far left, and I converted to being essentially a capitalist Democrat. A lot of people are understandably upset. I get it. Apparently, he's really living in this house. If you care about the details, apparently he's really living in this house, and he's turning into a bit of a minimalist, selling off a bunch of assets. And
Maybe he's waiting for his new mansion to be built right beside Starbase.
oh,
knows?
is he?
No, I'm just saying.
I don't
maybe.
think he is.
But we're kind of just assuming that he lives in the 40K house forever
Well, listen,
in Texas.
I mean, I highly doubt he's going to do it forever, but for a person who really wants to focus on their work, you can almost understand
Yeah.
the pull towards a really minimalist
Yes.
kind of setup, which wouldn't have too many distractions, which wouldn't have too much maintenance. It would be like the simplest form possible.
Easy to clean, maintain.
Like if you could just wake up and see everything in the whole place. There is something about that that's weirdly attractive. And you don't have to be the richest person in the world to think about it. I think the trouble is that for him, it's a selection. He has the option. He could have a country if he wanted, or an island, or multiple mansions, or whatever. And he still probably visits plenty of lavish places, and he still flies a private jet. And so what it's really about is abilities. And people get resentful when they don't have the choice to have the mansion or the minimal box house, but they're forced into their limitation determines that they would be in the box house. And then they would say, well, screw this guy screw this girl for joking about the place where I've spent the last 20 years or whatever and haven't had much luck to get out of it. Also, it's the bro thing is kind of interesting to me. The multiple references to him being bro, which is, I mean, I guess it's not her husband, ex-husband, whatever. The father of her children is also known as bro. Now, I've never been referenced in such a way.
Even by friends?
By the mother of my children.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure how I would react.
Right.
It might be interesting, but I probably wouldn't be into it.
I'm just coming home, bro.
I mean, I'm just going to get that out there. Now, not that I care, right? Whatever works. Or, I mean, it's, people have their own ways
Right.
Sure.
of, whatever they like. But it was the amount of bros as well. It was bro does not live like a billionaire. Bro lives at times below the poverty line.
It's a lot of bro.
But also, there's sarcasm in this.
I'm eating peanut butter for 8 days in a row. Do you think it's a kind of like poverty tourism?
Like from her perspective or from Elon's?
Do you know what I'm saying right now? Is that it's entertaining to them because it's not actually their reality. It's temporary and they know it.
Right. I think this might be Elon's reality. Hasn't he been many times been stated like having really small places that he lives in?
No, he's been back and forth. I mean, he's had mansions and...
then maybe you're right. If he's doing a lot of bouncing back and forth, I every time I read about it, he's like got a new smaller house.
That's just a recent thing that happened.
Yeah.
As well as moving to Texas, sort of limiting his LA lifestyle.
Right.
Things like that. But yeah, obviously people don't like it. I mean, it's BuzzFeed News. They don't like it. People on Twitter, they don't like it. Is anyone going to break the news to Grimes that being cheap is not the same thing as being in poverty? Oh my God. Yeah. Well,
it's definitely.
I mean, I guess you are explaining that to her in your tweet.
Yes, you are. Thank you for that.
It's weird the way people write on social media.
Right. Like as if somebody needs to get in touch.
People, there's such a way to it, right? An accepted way. And then everyone adopts that rule set of how to communicate on social media, that everything is snarky. Everything. Everything. In real life, snarkiness is not even that prevalent. There's a lot of stupid stuff and crappy combinations of words that just suck for a variety of other reasons. But the default status on Twitter is like, don't write it unless it's got some snark to it. Now you've completed Tweet School 101. So yeah, I believe the news has been broken to Grimes that you don't like her thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be some follow-up on that.
Sure, yeah.
UK orders shutdown of illegal Bitcoin cash points. Financial Watchdog has written to providers of Britain's 81 cryptocurrency ATMs. Ooh.
You haven't tried to use one, right?
No, but it's actually, now that you've said that, I almost want to, just as a fact-finding mission. Because they're out there and people must be using them. Someone needs to figure this out.
Yeah, I don't know who their target audience is for something like this. Who's like buying Bitcoin or taking out Bitcoin
I think
on
it's
the street?
older people that just sort of in the peripheral got the Bitcoin news.
What's this Bitcoin I keep hearing about?
Right, and ATMs
I'm going to
is
put
very-
$5.
Is that your old man right there?
Sounds exactly like me.
It's just you, but a bit older?
Yeah.
Like a week older?
Yeah. Future Will.
What is this
Older.
Bitcoin about over here? I've seen them. Like even here
No,
in
here,
town.
really?
Yeah, man. What do
Get
you,
out.
I'll
I
take
haven't
you.
seen them.
I'll take you right now.
All right. Well, after the show.
I'll take you right now. See you later, everybody. I'm going to the Bitcoin ATM real quick. My understanding is it's just they're kind of, they're not a scam completely, but they are not
Efficient. Or
you're paying a lot for the convenience of using the ATM over some other method.
Yeah, I figured that.
I wonder if that's what this is about. The machines allow users to exchange cash for Bitcoin, but have scant security checks. Oh, that's what the issue is, especially for smaller amounts, and none of their providers are licensed. This has led to concerns they could be used for money laundering, prompting the FCA to act. Dirty money in, clean money out. We have warned operators of crypto ATMs in the UK to shut their machines down or face enforcement action. Crypto ATMs offering crypto asset exchange services in the UK must be registered with us and comply with UK money laundering regulations. There's a lot more regulation as far as crypto. You had Biden talking recently about it. And the UK is using the word. We are concerned about crypto ATM machines operating in the UK and will therefore be contacting the operators, instructing that the machines be shut down or face further action. They're going to want more identity checks, I guess. They're going to want it to operate more like a bank machine. And that sort of kills the vibe for the crypto thing. And then I guess it will drive more people to look for alternative means outside of the physical ATM locations. But I still think it's interesting that we want it to fit the old format, or that some people, there's some degree of comfort in that.
Right.
And
Getting quick cash.
it would be curious to experiment with one of them and see how they work.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh when Americans think we use metric in the UK. No, we use an ungodly mishmash of imperial and metric that makes no sense whatsoever. Canada does this too. Fuel.
Drives me up the wall.
It drives you up the wall.
We had this conversation a while ago
It was a long time ago.
I understand.
about metric versus imperial.
I know, and you're hitting me with it now.
Yeah.
And honestly, the last conversation we had
6 months later.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's like,
So
I
long
want
ago.
you to recall, but I'll paraphrase. The conversation was about measurement systems and how some are more accurate, but precise,
Yeah.
but others are more visual in the sense that you can have a quick reaction
Right.
to a particular volume or
Easy to
distance,
digest.
or because you can. There's a kind of analogy in them, which would be where you could physically perceive it more easily.
Like a foot.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, maybe
like
a foot,
literal foot.
maybe a foot is an example, or a barrel full. I mean, it's
Right.
ridiculous when you hear it. Barrels of oil. It's ridiculous when you hear it.
You can
but
visualize
you
it.
immediately visualize it.
Yeah.
Whereas the measurement,
It's like 500 liters.
it just might
Yeah.
not yield the same kind of reaction. So we talked about this because it's not as simple as the argument being that more precision is always better. faster understanding in certain circumstances might be more important than precision. So there's arguments.
Yes. And my argument is that we should just adopt one instead of having a mishmash.
Yeah, but if and your argument, everybody has that argument. That's the primary argument.
Sure.
But your point is that they both have really good strength.
No, it's that, but it's also that if it were going to be one, it already would be one.
Oh, right.
Everyone would.
If there was a clear answer, we would have picked. Is what you're saying? Or adopted,
or that. I mean, maybe this doesn't always occur, but this has gone on long enough now that it appears to me that these merits that I'm talking about are at least effective enough to maintain this stranglehold. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be that way forever, but it is the way that it is right now. And the vast majority of the world is metric.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the world was like, you guys are nuts. But it's all tied up in culture and history and language and
preference.
So you can imagine how ridiculous it would be to convert like a foot to some language. How would you even name the measurement? Like barrels of oil elsewhere in the world where they have a different word for barrel.
Right.
Now you have different words for measurements everywhere you go because you're really worried about this visual component. Like it works regionally, but globally or for international trade, it's a bit ridiculous. A bunch of cultures or languages are saying barrel. You follow where I'm going here?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not numbers, it's language now.
Yeah.
So speed might be helped, but only in places where reaction to that language is immediate.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, here's a list of certain measurements in the UK that they use that has both metric and imperial.
Fuel liters, fuel efficiency, miles per gallon, long distance on roadsides, miles, short distances, meters, but called yards.
Oh, they have stones.
Yeah, for weight.
They have stones. Yes.
I know, it seems ridiculous when you say it.
Right.
But actually, once you've developed it, and I've never used stone for anything, but once you develop it and you have a visual representation in your mind of what a stone is,
right,
and someone says, how heavy is that? And he goes, it's about 12 stones.
Right.
And you just immediately know roughly what that is.
He goes into, or this user goes into deep language. So like how far away something is converted into miles.
Really?
But how far you ran yesterday is converted into kilometers.
Yeah, people like KMs for runs because they...
Yes.
Because it's a higher number.
I don't know actually why.
I would like that if I went for a run.
I mean, maybe because running is competitive and the international standard matters there.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like
Right.
I did a 5K run.
But when somebody asks you how far something is, do you tell them in distance or in time?
It depends what the question is. Do
What-
you mean
how did he
to
phrase
drive to a place? You would say time. Usually, it's about 20 minutes away. That's what I would do.
That's right. And there's military time as well.
Oh my!
That
We are going.
not
deep.
everyone uses.
Yeah.
I would say the majority uses like a 12-hour.
Yeah,
time.
which there's another example where like why?
It's pretty popular in Europe, military time.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's another one. What is the point of that? Like what? And
Yeah, I
again,
don't know.
I think
Well, it's even more precise.
advantages and disadvantages.
Right.
Advantages and disadvantages.
So the top commenter says that there's difference in pints. Even when people use it, the measurement pint is different in the U.S. than it is in the UK.
Precision suffers massively in this scenario. What you decide to call a pint is open to interpretation, apparently.
Apparently.
You got this glass.
I think of a glass.
Bar. Yeah, but they're saying in the US and the UK, they're different. 8 pints in the U.S. is 6 pints in the U.K.
Oh. And this whole thread is people just kind of talking about their stories in measurements. And they all collectively agree that it's really confusing.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, there's a huge disadvantage to having these things be regional at all. But yeah, it's hanging in there, man. It's hanging in there for now.
Yeah. Just a quick update.
It goes beyond that, by the way, because you have tools and stuff that would be one system or the other. So people are actually actively invested in. You have cars and car parts and bolts, and it's not snapping your fingers and undoing all of that.
No.
DrDisrespect settles his lawsuit with Twitch.
We haven't talked with Disrespect in a while.
No, not in a long time. We still don't know why he was banned. Well, probably part of the settlement is you will never talk about why you were banned, sir.
So he tweeted about it maybe yesterday.
Moving on. I have resolved my legal dispute with Twitch. No party admits to any wrongdoing. DrDisrespect. Signed. That's a weird...
I know. Is that legal? That's not legal. It should be his real name.
Why is it on...
I guess it's just a picture.
Yeah, but why is it on top of a stack of what looks like a bunch of cards that look the same?
That has his logo. There's
Twitch
many questions on this picture.
batching their lawsuits together.
Yeah,
It's not like a contract.
I guess he just took a piece of it and made it look pretty.
Sure.
Which is fine. He was banned back in June 2020. I feel like a lifetime ago. A year later, he launched a legal action over his ban, saying that the loss of his Twitch channel not only impacted him financially, but also did serious reputational damage. It's all water under the bridge now, though. Disrespect and Twitch are friends again. I don't know about friends. Is he going back to the platform?
No.
Well, that would
I
be
don't think so.
friendly. That would be friendly if that was to be the case, if he was going back there.
Really bury the hatchet.
Bury the hatchet. Wow. That's such a saying. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go in the back and bury the hatchet. Damn.
That's
It's like the hatchet that I was going to use against you? Jeez.
Uh-huh.
Right? I don't know. I mean, maybe it must mean something else, or maybe it just means that.
I feel like it might be that.
Like I was looking up we were talking about the bulldog thing earlier. Like, you know why they're called bulldogs? Oh, that's why. You know what I mean?
Wait, what did you find out?
About the hatchet or the bulldog?
The bulldog.
Bull baiting. Remember I told you.
Right. You told me about this.
The bulldog would be trying to tackle the bull. It would be a sport. Right. They'd be gambling and try to breed a dog that can wrap its face around a bull.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
And but isn't it crazy? You get this origin story and yet the word exists in your brain with no context. Mm-hmm. It's bulldog. What are you talking about? It's bulldog. Mm-hmm. Seen a bulldog?
Yeah.
Right? But at no point is it discussed. It's like time eliminates the description that a word can just be
long enough.
A word can be so permanent in the culture that it's just, and I don't know why that is, even when it's so descriptive. Like you should say, why is it called that?
Why is it called?
Right? What do you have? You have a German Shepherd. Why is it a shepherd?
Why is it German?
Well, I know why it's German, and
why?
and I know why it's a shepherd. So do you, because a herding dog.
Exactly.
So it actually is a shepherd.
Not Kovu though.
No, Kovu's real.
Oh well, I mean
he likes to play.
Okay, maybe he's not a shepherd, but he probably could have been if from day one.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
You seem skeptical.
I don't know. He's a weird one, that guy.
Okay. Bury the hatchet is an American English idiom meaning to make peace. Yeah, the phrase is an allusion to the figurative or literal practice of putting away weapons at the cessation of hostilities among or by Native Americans in the eastern United States, because they would be carrying, I guess, a hatchet. Let's bury the hatchet. We're going to put our arms down. We're going to no longer be in conflict. It was what I thought. So Will's talking about burying hatchets now.
Yeah, that's the 1 week old me. 1 week forward.
right. The future will.
The wise will.
Love it.
Why is he in the future?
Well, because of the previous story, he did the old man voice. It was Will.
So old man Will is
A week from now.
is burying hatchets.
Exactly. He's wise.
Okay.
Okay. Try to make a funny and then.
Super Nintendo World is opening in Universal Studios Hollywood in 2023. Oh, we saw the one in
Yeah, the
Japan.
one
It
in
was
Japan.
so cool looking.
What is this?
It's like a theme park.
Oh, cool.
It is a theme park. It's not
Right,
like
yeah.
a theme park. It is a theme park. It opened in Japan. It was delayed because of COVID. It was a disaster. But people were kind of trying to get spy looks of it.
Yes.
And so they would
Flying
be like
drones.
or across on a bridge, or they'd try to get to a high point and get their camera in there. And it looked like a video game because everything is cartoonish, like every element of the world. So you would see a video clip from far away, and it just looks like Super Nintendo is happening, except in the in life.
Is this it?
Yes.
This is the render.
Oh my God, you weren't kidding.
So it's
That looks
very
like a video
vibrant.
game. Oh, this is a render though.
Yeah, but it would look like
No,
this.
he can find Will can find a good clip if you want it.
I do want it.
How badly?
Pretty bad. I want to see this. Well, I love Mario. I'm
Yeah.
a big Nintendo guy. So
Big
this
Mario guy.
You
right?
could catch me here.
Oh, really? Yeah, click
Yeah.
on that one. Well, this is just a picture, but from an aerial photo.
What am I?
Which one is he? Oh, that one.
Where
The
you were.
Verge,
Yeah,
right
go
there.
ahead. Click on it.
Yeah, that's real life.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's better when the stuff is moving around if you can get a short video clip.
That's sick. So you just
Can you get a short video clip, Will? Or are you worried about copyright or something?
Maybe this one.
Just
No,
as long
not
just scrub
Nintendo.
it. Just scrub it. I guess.
Spoiler warning.
Oh God. Okay, maybe don't. I don't know. Okay, you're spoiling it now. Maybe get out of here.
that's okay.
I was thinking
It's-
more when the original story broke. It was just kind of spy video where you could see it running and them doing their testing of their different attractions. I'm not really looking for somebody walking through the venue because then that does spoil it big time. But I guess it's a huge content
It is. Yeah.
category now because like we were doing the phone that video at the back there, the recent video, and then I'm seeing the Jurassic Park ride, and I'm like, wait, doesn't that spoil it for the person that goes on the ride?
Right. I remember we were talking about this.
And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I guess you can watch it and just get more excited and go, but so much of it is about surprise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But anyway, I guess they're going to open one closer than Japan, which might work out for you, Mo. The immersive land will be a visual spectacle of vibrant colors and architectural ingenuity located within a newly expanded area of the theme park featuring a groundbreaking ride and interactive areas to be enjoyed by the whole family. Themed shopping and dining will enhance the experience. Oh, you can get the Super Mario food as well, Mo.
What do you think their food?
Yeah, exactly. What is it? They don't have any
Mushrooms?
food in that universe.
No, they got the mushrooms, right? The evil mushrooms things.
So what? It would be
And
Evil
they have turtles as well.
you eat the turtles?
I'm just naming characters in the
Oh, I mean, they got to do like it's got to be like pizza and burgers.
Of
They got to
course,
find a
kids.
way to do it that
the
way.
pizza, pop, and chips, never leaving.
From being able to play real life Mario Kart to playing live action Mario video game courses, there appears to be something for everyone. When it opened in Japan, they had large crowds. Super Nintendo was able to open with great success. It's interesting that it's Super Nintendo World and not Nintendo World. Anyway, it's currently under construction at Universal Studios Orlando. All right, you just got to go to Orlando, Mo. That's not really that big of a deal. I
Okay.
feel like you can get there.
All right.
Smart excavator can be operated using simple video game motion controls. So you don't even need to sit in it. Speaking of, well, not quite autonomous, but remote at least. Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
It's movement based. Ooh.
Oh, so you become the claw.
You are the claw. This is like a villain in some movie.
Yeah.
Some Spider-Man in the future.
Wow, this is really cool tech.
You could do this, Mo.
This is fun.
I could be that guy.
All of a sudden now, as fun as operating heavy machinery looks, complex machines like excavators require a trained or skilled operator to get the job done quickly and safely. But as the pool of trained operators continues to retire and diminish, the future of construction might be machinery upgraded with robotic smarts so they're as easy to operate as playing a video game.
Wow.
It's a motion control similar, I guess, to like a... Well, they were referencing a Nintendo Wii, but a lot of VR games have motion controls like this now. But yeah, you can drive it. You can use the claw. I guess driving, you could just walk. Wireless joystick harness. This one's cool. That's like flying a jet. In this case, the remote aspect, I wonder when that becomes important. Like you could be in maybe a delicate environment. You wouldn't want to put a person as well.
Right. I was thinking rescue missions.
Okay.
Like if somebody fell in a cave.
Well, I don't know if you ever really rescue with the claw.
No. I wouldn't use this exact, but I'm saying they can apply this technology.
The claw is here to save you.
Rips off a leg. Like, oh my goodness.
Embrace the claw. It is your savior. I'm scared of claw.
Okay.
No. And I'm saying if you were digging where there used to be a gas station or something.
Right.
A potential...
or toxic,
explosive
radioactive
or material. You can send one of these in to go and dig and look at what's under the surface. Or man, not to get too dark, but like landmines and stuff. When you have something that previously used to be a war zone. Ooh.
Yeah, when I was at Vimy Ridge, they had fences blocking off areas. And there's still active landmines here.
Good Lord.
So don't go.
I thought they'd try to get rid of landmines as far as warfare. They're like,
they got rid of a lot of
them. They're like, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a clip in Ukraine. This guy from Ukraine was just holding a mine and just putting it off the road.
Oof.
And he had a cigarette too. It was
Perfect.
really, I don't know if it's real or fake, but it was just so nonchalant. This guy was just like a random.
You know, what ends up happening in these places is it just becomes a part of life. It becomes normal to people. This idea of tanks being around. And I'm not saying it's normal yet, but you hear of people that have been in these environments like...
You become desensitized.
My grandfather, for example, it's like, and then my brother picked up a grenade he found, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
It's like you're experiencing him holding the grenade.
No,
right
it's
there.
just, I think obviously whenever there's those personal terms that you can reflect on, or someone can tell a personal story about an exposure, it just changes. That's why yesterday we were talking about Lex Friedman looking for people actually in Ukraine and Russia and trying to have conversations with them. It just adds so much texture to it and ability to feel it more properly, or more the weight of it more substantially.
Yeah, I would imagine this thing, if it's treated like a video game, it would actually be easy to control. Like if a gamer would get a hold of this, maybe they would do their job even better.
Right.
Because they're just so used to, I don't know, VR controls.
Sure. Yeah. Like
drone pilots right now.
The training would be more intuitive.
Yeah.
And maybe even the machinery would change shape eventually if the controls were different. You could make a smaller piece of machinery without needing to have a seat on it even.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 in a million 5-legged lamb born at Northumberland Farm. 5 legs on the lamb.
Yes.
1 in a million, born on 22/2/22. In a twist of fate, the lamb, who is yet to be given a name, was born in a set of triplets. So it's a set of triplets, and then one lamb in with the triplets has 5 legs.
Wow.
That is super rare. I bet a lot of people are going to come check this out now. They're going to go to the farm. So it's like, just describing it for people listening, The leg is sort of in the shoulder section. The extra leg is in the shoulder area of the little lamb. Cute little lamb here.
Very cute. Look at
It is
the-
very
the
cute.
Cute
face.
little lamb here. Scroll to the end for more. It's interesting that everybody got dogs than they could have got lambs.
Mm,
Hey?
I feel like
A lamb is pretty cute. It does have...
yeah, it is.
I mean, it probably doesn't really want to be indoors. Like, I think the lamb likes to be outdoors.
Right.
But
I don't know how much a lamb is gonna
The dog
protect you,
likes to
though.
be outdoors. Yeah, but protection. Have you seen the type of dogs people got going on?
Okay. Yeah.
It's not about protection anymore. And I'm sure some people got lambs. You know, pet pigs is a thing.
Yeah. Huge. Thing.
You get the small pig.
They're smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get the is there a name for it, that type of pig? I can't even remember now. A pet pig is like a...
I want to say piglet.
No, piglet's just a baby pig.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man. People trying to get the... People really like the pets.
They're cute.
They like the pets. Like, Will, I bet you could you could go on Kijiji. I bet you right now there's pigs for sale. Oh, yeah.
Juliana.
Teacup pigs.
Oh, teacup.
Oh, teacup pigs. Yeah.
They're really small.
Juliana pig. Potbelly pigs that are tiny in size. Oh, God, that's terrifying.
What? The picture?
Malnutrition and are often falsely advertised as miniature. They're just starved.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, who governs these things?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who overlooks these things? Mo.
That's unfortunate.
It's also I mean, that's a pig right there. You know what else is crazy is like that you got wild pigs and they survive, man.
Right. Yeah.
You got wild pigs out there.
They grow horns.
Like, let's get a look at a wild pig compared
Like a hog.
to a pet. Like, it's a range to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got that cute little piglet, and then you got this guy. And this guy,
Not horns. Sorry, they have tusks.
this guy,
That's a scary looking thing.
which guy? Top right?
Yeah, with the tusk.
You want to see the tusk on it? Mo, you run into a group of these?
I'm running.
Ooh. It's crazy how furry they get in the wild versus domesticated.
Right. And it looks lean.
Oh,
Looks like he could
baby.
pick up some speed there.
Oh, baby. For sure. No messing around. Yeah, they get the tusk going. It's crazy.
Still with the nose, though. Still with the classic
Yeah, still
nose.
with the nose. Still with the classic.
Classic nose.
Yeah, they still got the classic. But anyway, you guys tell me, if you had to have a pet that wasn't a dog or a cat, what would it be? Go ahead, Will.
Maybe low maintenance.
A fish or a lizard or something?
I
go with
always
snake.
wanted an aquarium
Aquarium?
Mm.
Yeah, that's
with
relaxing.
basic fish.
That's relaxing.
Yeah.
The water.
With the water filter
yeah.
running.
Yeah. Kind of want one of those right now.
We can get an aquarium.
No,
in here.
it's, there is maintenance to it. He says
There
no
is, yeah.
maintenance. It's maintenance to it. Everybody I've ever known who had an aquarium, they're like, I got to check on the aquarium.
Well, Dave 2D, right? He's got an aquarium.
But I don't know. I never asked him about his aquarium. I'm going to ask him. But
Okay.
there are just people I've known in the past. When I was growing up, they're like, I got to go home and check on the aquarium. I'm
We
like,
got to
"What
get
are you-"
Dave back on
Like,
the show.
what are you
then.
checking on? But they got to, I don't know. There's some maintenance to it. You
Yeah.
can't just leave it.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, it's not to the extent of Otis. Like this guy, that's high maintenance over there. Look at him over
Too
there.
much.
Look at him
Hey.
over there. You don't even know.
Hey.
You don't even know what he's doing.
Come over here.
He's just roaming
do that.
around.
Yeah. And he's
Don't
like,
destroy things.
He's like, I do whatever I want over here. I'm high maintenance. So do you go for pig or lamb?
Me?
You get a pig or a lamb as a pet.
I'm going to go lamb.
Wow.
I'll go with pig.
Interesting.
I'll
All
go with
we've,
pig.
Well, we've figured everything out here today.
They're funny.
Some people get into the dangerous pets. They would have like a
Like snakes.
leopard or something.
Oh, you mean, okay, yeah. Some people really.
Oh my God.
Scary.
Oh my God. The way those move about.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Speaking of pets, baby girl tries to convince a giant husky to go for a walk, and it is the cutest event ever of all time.
Okay.
Go ahead, Will. Is this clip licensed to some giant media company?
No.
Oh.
Life with Malamutes.
Oh,
the
okay.
channel.
So we can just shout them out. Go check it out. So do we get volume here?
Yeah,
you
there's
give us volume too?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just a cute little girl that's walking her giant husky or Malamute. And just around the house.
Yeah, she says,
it's just
come
very,
on.
very nice.
Come on.
And the Malamute is letting her, you know,
If I stay behind
just
you,
walking
you
with her.
won't fall so much. You tell him.
Oh, it's cute when she's talking to him.
You know what?
Which way you
The
going, down there?
very calm dog.
Okay.
Very calm.
Very calm.
Malamutes are calm.
Very calm dog.
Okay.
Just enjoying the walk.
Be careful.
I like this atmosphere. I mean, you gotta have
I'm
a
with
ton. You have to have a ton of
Hold it
trust
there
in
as
the
well.
dog
Hold it with 2 hands.
Yeah.
to not just drag the 2-year-old. But the dog at this point is a little bit older and very calm,
And she's learning as well.
and
How to-
it appears
Where
to
do you want
not
Teddy
be an
to go?
issue. Like, what if the dog saw a rabbit right now or
And
something?
started booking it.
But they must know the dog well enough at this
Snow's
point.
all gone, I know. It will come back tonight. When we're sleeping, snow will come. We've got a severe weather warning.
Look at the
for tonight.
concern. Snow's gone. What's going on here? Snow's gone. Yeah, well, look, man. Look at the end of the title. You know, go for a walk! Exclamation, and then brackets.
Of course.
Cutest ever.
Ever.
2 exclamation points.
It's not wrong.
And
Wait, please.
they've delivered on that.
There we go.
Which way
Absolutely.
should we go now?
Cutest ever. Good
This way?
job, Malamute, on the calm factor.
Yeah.
Taking care of your...
Oh.
I feel like that dog, by the way, would probably just... Doesn't even really need a leash. I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
yeah, he's just roaming around.
Pretty chill, regardless. But nonetheless, this is February 6, 2022. So there's a little glimpse into a spot on Earth where a 2-year-old and a Malamute, they've got a bond going on, and there's plenty of bonds out there, and we don't want to forget that as we get bombarded by stories and segments and information. Still bonds out there, Mo. Looking at you, Mo.
Yeah.
You got some bonds?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk about stocks and bonds, right?
Okay, well then, you know I got that for sure.
Talking about real
Financial advice. Oh, God.
Mo got the last word today? Damn.
Yes,
Oh,
so.
thanks everybody for joining. Thanks everyone for bonding. I know that I am not the cutest ever Malamute.
Okay.
So I fully appreciate the fact that
That they stuck around?
That you decided to be here today, and that we spent this time together.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on Monday. Later.